We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.
Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us on yet another exciting episode of Able Differently, where we take charge. Today on the show, we are going to have an inclination towards clubfoot. I hope you'll be inspired, learn a thing or two. I'm your host, Ruth Mweni. Karibuni.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Brigid Songok was born with clubfoot, and at the age of 5, she noticed she was unique. And life is a story to tell to those who are patient at heart. Take a look at that story.
She is the firstborn in her family and the director of the Clubfoot Project Africa.
I have a degree in human resource management and diploma in business management. I was born with bilateral clubfoot. Oh yes. At the moment, I'm a director of the Clubfoot Project, a project which I started last year.
The 34-year-old realized she was different from the rest when she turned 5 years. It was also at the same age when she lost her biological father.
I had issue when working with and playing with children around. Even going to school, it was a problem because I could not even walk without a shoes. And the problem started when I was going to primary, because the primary we used to go day, come lunch. Yeah, so I didn't go to boarding school.
Brigid, soon after her father's death, was adopted and enrolled into a special boarding school where she started accepting herself.
When I was in class 5, I was taken to a special school called St. Peter's Kopuja in Nandi. Yeah, at least there I realized that I met with people with disability, although it was so hard for me to accept myself before. But when I went to special school, I realized there is more people who has a problem more than me. That is the day I started accepting myself, because my self-esteem was so low.
Although far from her family, boarding school turned out to be better as she did not have to walk long distances.
When I used to be from class 1 to maybe class 4, I used to go day school. So I had a problem when walking. Like if I walk for a long distance, my legs get swollen. And again, because our place is so hilly, I could not even walk. Reaching to class, it was so hectic. I'm so tired. Yeah, but when I reached to the boarding school, it was so fun. Like I found most people were so disabled. Like I had a friend of mine called Sarah, and she used to have I don't want to mention him. She used to hold everything with her legs. That she really encouraged me, and I decided that I can do more things than her.
Boarding school proved to be the best place for her because of how her grades improved. Surprisingly enough, Brigid had to deal with discrimination in a special school where she least expected it to happen.
In this special school, again, we had children who are able, and you can find someone could imitate you the way you work, because the way I'm working is inward and outwards, and people could make fun of me, just laugh, and I could feel was so annoyed. I could even use some abusive words, or like teachers were even forcing us to do manual like cleaning, so it was so hectic for me sometimes to mob.
Upon recording good grades in KCSE, Brigid's dream of becoming an air hostess was finally on track until a teacher made a comment that changed it all.
I was in class 8. I was so prepared because I was the only candidate, especially in our side of the disability. I was the only candidate because, as I told you earlier, our school was mixed with the able one, so I was the only one. And I thank God for the parents and our administrators, because they were so concentrated about me. They gave me everything, and And I really performed well when I was in class 8 because I had all attention with them. Yeah, all their eyes was on me. Yeah, and I really performed and I was eager to go to a very nice school. But only that I went to a school where I was the only person with disability at secondary high school. Yeah. And there was a big challenges with it, but it was okay for me. I remember when a mistress in class 8 told me, if you are going to secondary school, what are you going to study? What is your career? And I was like, I want to be an air hostess. And the mistress was seeing me with that hang on, and I was like, what is going on? So she had to tell me that you can't be an air hostess. And I was like, why? Because Brigid, your legs. And I was like, no, you can't change. So I had that mentality that some things should not be limited for a person with disability.
Her worst experience, unfortunately, was at the hands of a teacher who consistently embarrassed her in front of the school assembly.
There's a teacher when it's street assembly time, I can't stand properly. So I was leaning on, maybe holding someone, and that teacher could harass me, and I could not speak out. Yeah. Because when you're having a clubfoot, you can't stand straight. So mostly, our teacher could see me holding someone or leaning on someone. Yes, that was my worst. He could really embarrass me in assembly.
The decision on her career choice was a joint one. Brigid consulted with her parents and under their guidance was able to settle for a suitable degree course.
After my Form 4 results, I was a average student, so I decided to go to college. We had to discuss with my adopted dad, Tomarabu, and my mom, Brigid Songok. That's my second parents. So we had to sit down and say, what am I going to study in college? And I just human resource, and dad like, okay, studied with the certificate. I did certificate, and then doing certificate to diploma, I changed into business management. Yes.
We spoke to the father, Tom Warambo, who told us of how they settled on adopting Brigid.
Warambo Tom is my name, and I'm Brigid's dad. Yeah. And Brigid came into our lives after she cleared class 8. She came to visit us, and we saw her, and by then we were also talking with the mother. Decided to take her in because we saw we could help her and assist her because of her condition.
The responsibility of being a father commenced almost immediately as Brigid was in urgent need of comfortable shoes.
By then, we had a big problem, especially with the way she was doing her daily duties, and walking and all that. So the shoes, especially the ones she was using, were really giving a hard time. So the first thing we decided to get her a new pair of shoes.
According to the father, Brigid was a lovable, jovial girl, and falling in love with her was quite easy for the entire family.
Brigid is very bubbly and a very outgoing girl.
Immediately you met her?
Yeah. So my family fell in love with her, and we took her in.
Mr. Mwarabu is Brigid's biggest supporter on her clubfoot project Africa, and he sees it as a worldwide venture.
Yeah, that's something which is really in my heart also, because she started this clubfoot project, and the people who have come into this house, I couldn't imagine. The ambassadors who have come into this house, great people with the UN, just to see her and talk to her.
Lorraine, being a younger sister, has come to appreciate the opportunity of having a bigger sister like Brigid.
Because of her, I am where I am right now. I look up to her a lot. She's a sister, literally, to me. And I can't imagine life without her at all.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go too far.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently. 'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you are watching Able Differently, a program like no other. Anne was born with clubfoot. Her mother took quick action to have her go through corrective surgeries. Today, she's a happy woman. Take a look at that story.
Anne Onyango is a system administrator and an ambassador of the Clubfoot Project Africa. The mother of three says that for her, it's a hereditary kind of situation where clubfoot has been spotted in their family.
I'm a mother of three and I'm physically challenged. I have a challenge called clubfoot. Mostly it's associated with polio, but I think mine is inherited because our family tree has some people who have the same kind of foot problem, but not so to the extreme like mine.
At the age of 2 years, her mother noticed the clubfoot and she immediately sought for medical attention, which soon led to several operations.
My mom noticed the problem with my foot when I was around 2. That was when I was trying to walk. So she says I walked with a gait. I couldn't step down well. So then she went to see a doctor. Can I mention his name? Dr. Atinga. So from then on, there was a diagnosis that I had a foot problem. I went through 4 operations.
As a result of the operations, a lot of improvement was noticed, which made it possible for her to participate in sports.
Mom says yes, there was a bit of a difference. I still walk with a gait anyway. Me and Brigid call it the penguin walk. We walk like ducks, penguins. In town, when you find us, we look like 2 lost people walking, struggling, robots. So school was fun. I went to a really good school where people were mannered. We never had bullying and stuff like that. Yeah, so, and most of the kids minded their own business. I think that was a really good school in primary because you wouldn't find anyone exchanging words with you over my issue or anything. I blended in. Nobody was segregating me. Yeah, but the only basic challenge were most of the games were involved running. I couldn't jump.
Anne's experience in high school was, however, full of challenges. She hardly enjoyed it and even kept off sports.
I never went to any special school all through, not even once. The biggest challenge in high school was mopping the dining hall because water would be poured from one corner and then we all enter and we had to mop it and make it clean. So now I would step on bubbled, on soapy water, and in my mind I would just pray, oh God, may I not fall, because I was so afraid to injure myself a second time.
Anne had been accustomed to the village life. Things, however, changed when she moved to the city where everybody would stare at her.
I wasn't concerned about people looking at me at any one point in time. Yes. I only discovered people started looking at me when I came to Nairobi. In the village, it was just like normal. Yeah, I was a normal kid. In Nairobi, on the street, someone would stop me and ask me, Madam, hiyo kiatu inakufinya? I would say no. It's just a problem with my foot. As time went by, now the questions became too many on the streets. I became resistant. If you would look at me, I would look at you back like, you just didn't look at me. Don't look at me. I would wear inaitwa sura ya kazi. Yes.
With time, Anne has learned how to handle the glaring eyes.
Staring is usually very irritating, but once you accept and know, there's nothing much you can do about the staring, and know that, yeah, this is me. You accept your condition. The staring doesn't really get to me nowadays. before I would look at you and you would look at my feet, and then I would look at you looking at my feet, and sometimes I would stop and ask, why are you looking at me? But then I got tired of it, yes, and decided to let it pass.
Although she can do almost everything, certain things like running and bending remain a challenge.
Performance was just good. My feet were never a hindrance to anything, yes, other than sports. I could study, I could sing, just then running or lifting something heavy or bending, because the bending also interferes. So I try and do moderate duties here and there, yes.
Due to circumstances, her dream of becoming a pilot were altered, but she is grateful in her current career.
About my career, I wanted to be a pilot, but then I ended up being a system admin, which serves me well. Pilot, I got scared because I'm also scared of heights. And then I thought to myself, my foot doesn't have much of a grip, and fine, I've never seen the inside of an airplane, but in my own assumption, there's a pedal that you step on. Yes, so I was thinking, for me to fly this plane, I need to have some grip on my foot. So then I decided to opt out for something different.
Despite her qualifications, Anne believes that she missed out on several job opportunities due to her disability.
You would walk to an interview, so when you're walking into the interview hall, you're obviously walking with a gait, one. So in the process of being interviewed, they ask you, are you physically fit? And then you explain to them, no, I have a foot problem. So I guess I missed most jobs because of saying that I have a foot problem. And maybe not. But you can see the reactions from the interviewers when you walk in. Yes. They would either whisper or write something down and pass to the other person.
Anne is married and blessed with 3 beautiful daughters.
More of an introvert, so I dated quite little. But I would notice when you go out and they would notice the foot gait, they would just take off. So you just continue with life, yes. One day somebody will come along. Looking for a job then, so a friend referred me to the company where this person was working, and then I dropped my CV. After some time, he called me for coffee, and we dated, and we went on, and that was it.
Together with her friend Brigid, they spoke of their passion for writing and Clubfoot Project Africa future plans.
We aim to provide shoes, boots, special boots to every adult and every child. The current situation is clubfoot can be corrected, but back then in the 70s, in the 60s, upwards to the 80s, clubfoot was majorly done through surgery. So you find those of us who are adults have neglected clubfoot, and most of us are not educated on the type of shoes we need to wear, or the shoe is far out of cost's reach. So our aim as Clubfoot Project is to get each and every adult a pair of boots, help them with their neglected clubfoot, and for the children or for the mothers who have young children with clubfoot, to get them to the nearest clinics and hospitals where the clubfoot process is done, because there is a process whereby they are given shoes that stretch the muscles, and after some time the kid is totally able to walk well.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Charity Mwikali is a single mother, a businesswoman, and a sole breadwinner. Despite her condition, she is committed to make a decent life for her family. Take a look.
The second born in a family of 4, Mwikali is a single mother who ventured into business in order to make ends meet.
Nikiwa na mtoto mmoja, sijaolewa, na kwa familia tuko watoto 4 na mimi ndio wa pili.
Although she can't remember when and how it all happened, Mwikali knows all too well the predicament that befell her, causing her to feel unworthy while in school.
Pia naongeleshwa na kasirika, naanza kujifikiria vitu kama hizo. Alafu nilikuwa yani sishiki kitu kwa class, nikang'ang'ana tu nikasoma, nikafika mahali nilifika, nikasimama na sasa nikaendelea.
For Mwikali to feel comfortable in a public means, she has to ensure that she boards an empty matatu before it fills up.
Naendanga ile ngari haiharakishwi, ile ina mtu naenda kukaa, nangojea mpaka inajaa.
Unfortunately, due to her disability, Mwikali dropped out of school while she was still in primary. When she became of age and with the help of her brother, she started a business.
Nikaweka biashara, nikaendelea, nikakaa na brother yangu na sister yangu, tukakaa wakaolewa, wakaniacha nikiwa peke yangu. Sasa nakaanga na mtoto wangu, ndio tunakaa na yeye kwa nyumba tukiwa wawili. Nilianza biashara juu niliona nimezaa na huyu mtoto ana mahitaji na sina bwana. Ndio nikaanza biashara na nikalea mtoto.
Committed to making a decent living for herself, she opens her business early and closes late with the much needed assistance, of course.
Nafungua asubuhi, nafunga jioni, nabeba, natafuta mtu ananisaidia, tunabeba, tunapeleka vitu kwa nyumba.
Mwikali sought medical attention with the hope of finding treatment to her ailment, but nothing forthcoming, with doctors unable to find what she is suffering from. She has since embraced life as it is.
Nilichukua kwenda hospitali na ugonjwa ikakosekana, na naonanga nikiwa sawa, nafanya kazi, sikai kwa nyumba. Juu ukiangalia walemavu wengine hawana nguvu, hawana mikono, na mimi niko nayo. Niliambiwa sina shida yoyote.
Although her struggles have made her stronger and people bailed out on her, her son gives her the strength to face life.
Niko na yeye ni mkubwa 16. Ako form 3, anaenda 3. Anaenda form 3.
Katika maisha yako ya ulemavu, ulipomzaa mtoto wako akapata uko na ulemavu, huwa anachukulia aje kama?
Ananipenda sana 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 zaidi. Ananipenda sana sana sana.
Mwikali tried to get help from the father of her son, but with no luck.
Bana, sijawahi pata hata siku moja. Nilifuatilia nikapata ameoa na tukaachana.
Mwikali pleaded with parents to engage in bringing out children with disabilities and advised them to be proud of them.
Ya picha mtoto alitoe nje ajulikane, uongee na watu, juu wengine wanafungianga watoto, wakipicha watoto kwa nyumba, unapata mtu amefungia mtoto na kifuli kwa nyumba, na hivyo si poa, unafaa kumtoa nje aonekane na kila mtu.
Her plea to the government and relevant authorities is to assist people with disabilities and particularly herself to get a better place for business.
Mimi ningetaka mnisaidie mahali niweke kazi na uwanja. Na zile pesa mnapatianga walemavu juu sipatangi, niwe napata. Hata mimi najisaidia maisha yangu na mtoto wangu.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Article 6 of the UN Convention states that state parties recognize that women and girls with disabilities are subject to multiple discrimination, and in this regard shall take measures to ensure the full and equal enjoyment by them of all human rights and fundamental freedoms.
In our today's quote, we look at the saying that goes, if you want something done properly, then do it yourself. In life, people will come to help and support you, but you are the person who have the responsibility to take action, because the road to success belongs to you, to where you want to go, where you want to be. Well, that's all we had for you in our show today. Till next time, I've been your host, Ruth Mweni. Bye-bye.